Today we're walking through 1 Samuel 25 to 27, a dramatic trilogy.
It opens with Samuel's death, then pivots to David's wilderness choices.
The Nabal and Abigail story is center stage in chapter 25.
A wealthy, foolish landowner and a wise, quick-witted spouse collide with David.
Sheep shearing season meant feasts, gifts, and community generosity.
Right, a culturally expected time to reward those who kept you safe.
David's men had protected Nabal's shepherds without extortion or harm.
So David sends a polite request, not a threat, for provisions.
Nabal's response is contempt. Who is David? Who is Jesse's son?
He frames David as a runaway servant, dismissing his legitimacy.
That insult ignites David's fury. Swords on. 400 men march.
It's an impulsive moment. Honor punctured, tempers blazing, blood about to spill.
Then Abigail enters like a fire extinguisher with bread and wisdom.
200 loaves, wine, dressed sheep, grain, raisins, fig cakes, serious de-escalation.
Importantly, she also brings a moral argument, not just food.
She names Nabal's folly, then reframes David's future. Don't stain your record.
You're fighting the Lord's battles. Don't avenge yourself, she pleads.
She speaks vision, a sure house, a future without needless blood guilt.
The bundle of life image is beautiful, security tied up with God.
And the sling metaphor throws enemies out like stones from a pouch.
It's tailored to David, the sling-bearing shepherd who felled Goliath.
She reads his identity and destiny, then appeals to conscience.
What strikes me is timing. She hurries, intercepts, acts decisively.
It's crisis leadership, speed, resources, and rhetoric aligned for peace.
David receives correction, which is rarer than we admit in leaders.
He blesses her discretion and steps back from vengeance. That's growth.
We might call it the art of not doing the wrong thing.
Exactly. Leadership isn't only action. It's restraint when power surges.
Then the aftermath. Nabal's feast, drunken oblivion, then shock and collapse.
10 days later, the Lord strikes him. He dies. Sobering closure.
David recognizes providence, then invites Abigail to become his wife.
Which raises complexities, polygamy's realities and political alliances.
The text reports without endorsing, but it complicates the celebration.
Yes, moral clarity in one scene, moral complexity in the next.
Moving to chapter 26, Saul hunts David again, urged by the Ziphites.
David scouts, sneaks into the camp, finds Saul asleep with Abner.
Abishai whispers, "One thrust, I won't need a second."
It's poetic justice on a platter, yet David refuses to kill.
Who can strike the Lord's anointed and be guiltless, he asks.
He trusts God with timing, death by Lord, age, or battle.
Instead, he takes the spear and water jar. Symbols matter.
The spear, authority and violence. The water, life. Both removed safely.
Then he calls out from a distance, holding proof of restraint.
He indicts Abner's failure, then pleads his own innocence to Saul.
The flea and partridge imagery paints a hunted man's humiliation.
Saul weeps, confesses, blesses, yet the cycle doesn't truly break.
It's tragic repentance. Real tears, fragile follow-through, no structural change.
So David chooses distance over sentiment. He won't gamble his life.
That sets up chapter 27, a strategic, morally thorny pivot.
I'll perish by Saul's hand unless I defect to Philistia.
He seeks asylum with Achish, receives Ziklag, and plays a dangerous game.
Raids against southern groups. No survivors. Ambiguous ethics. Hard to sanitize.
He tells Achish he's raiding Judah's south, masking his actual targets.
Achish believes he's burned bridges with Israel, securing loyalty by suspicion.
It's survival politics. Keep breathing, keep options, camouflage your trail.
And yet it clashes with earlier restraint. Mercy in 26, severity in 27.
Context matters. In exile, moral horizons shrink under pressure.
Does prudence slide into duplicity here? That's the discomfort.
Abigail embodied wise restraint. David in Ziklag embodies grim necessity.
The text presents both without easy moral varnish. That's honest.
Let's linger on Abigail's rhetoric again. She names truth without shaming.
She owns the burden, shields her house, protects the innocent, redirects anger.
She frames David's choice as future-oriented. You won't regret mercy tomorrow.
That future regret argument is persuasive for impulsive leaders.
Also, her generosity wasn't a bribe. It restored a social breach.
Restitution with moral framing. Gifts plus repentance beats gifts alone.
Compare that with Abishai's offer. Quick justice, clean blow, final end.
Efficient, yes, but history shows shortcuts breed long shadows.
David choosing symbolic theft over literal bloodshed is masterful.
He removes the instruments without removing the person. That's discipline.
Yet the same David later removes witnesses and raids.
The narrative keeps us honest. Heroes are complicated, motives mixed.
Perhaps that's why Samuel's death opens the sequence, prophetic absence.
Without that steady voice, decisions feel heavier, edges sharper.
Loss of guidance often reveals who we are under duress.
And who can reach us? Abigail becomes the unexpected prophet.
Her wisdom preserves not only lives, but David's moral momentum.
Then the wilderness tests that momentum. Some choices hold, others bend.
Let's talk leadership and legitimacy. The Lord's anointed restrains violence.
It upholds a principle. Office matters, even when the office holder fails.
But principle doesn't mean naivety. David still creates distance.
He honors the crown while avoiding the spear. That's nuanced loyalty.
Ethical tension sits between honor and self-preservation.
And the text refuses to resolve it cheaply. It stays complex.
Another thread, public versus private repentance.
Saul's public remorse doesn't change patterns. David's private resolve does.
It's easier to cry than to restructure your hunting plans.
Exactly. Repentance isn't tears. It's redesigned pathways.
By chapter 27, David designs a new path altogether.
Strategic relocation can be wisdom, even if ethically hazardous.
Survival sometimes costs moral clarity. He pays in ambiguity.
That's a caution for anyone romanticizing the wilderness hero.
The narrative also interrogates power and hospitality.
Nabal hoards during abundance. Abigail redistributes with justice.
In a way, she models kingdom economics, generosity as security.
Hoarding isolates. Hospitality weaves protective relationships.
The shepherds called David's men a wall by night and day,
Security that doesn't extort. That's unusual in rough territory.
which helps explain David's anger. He felt honor violated.
And why Abigail's argument about reputation lands so strongly.
Let's circle back to symbols. Spear down, jar taken, sling remembered.
The Bible loves props. They carry layers. Story, identity, destiny.
The sling image anchors David's calling, deliverance without arrogance.
The water jar whispers, life is precious. Don't spill it lightly.
And the spear taunts, power is near, but is it yours to seize?
Restraint answers, not today. Exile answers, maybe tomorrow, differently.
What do we learn from modern leadership?
Seek an Abigail. Listen fast. Save your future from your fury.
Act within principle when you can. Acknowledge ambiguity when you can't.
And watch the patterns. Tears without change are just wet.
Final question. When does prudence become compromise?
And how do you keep your hands clean when survival gets messy?
Maybe by letting wisdom interrupt you before the sword is drawn.
And by remembering the bundle of life holds more than your pride.
In the end, restraint can be as heroic as victory.
And generosity can be as strategic as any battle plan.
That's our journey through 1 Samuel 25 to 27.
May we find Abigail's speed, David's restraint, and better endings than Saul's.
Until next time, keep your spear grounded and your water guarded.
And let your future self thank you for today's hard restraint. God bless.